The Little League Baseball World Series on ESPN is presented by T-Mobile, America's largest and fastest 5G network. And in part by Beauty Rest Black. Great sleep is a luxury you deserve. Zano Everett didn't go to bed, as Tim said, until 4 a.m. Needed some sleep. They go up against Chinese Taipei team, and this team from Taiyuan, nearly 8,000 miles from Williamsport. Population about 2 million, located in the northwestern part of the island. Let's meet their team.
我的名字是林伟宏，我最喜欢吃的食物是海鲜。我的名字叫做谢品宏，我最喜欢的科目是地理。我叫吴敬佑，我最喜欢的歌手是贾斯汀比伯。我的名字是蔡元浩，我最喜欢的甜点是巧克力蛋糕。我的名字叫赖玉俊，最喜欢的球员是铃木一朗。
我的名字是邱泽伟，我最喜欢的食物是生鱼片。
我的名字是许少杰，我最喜欢的歌手是 Lady Gaga。
我的名字叫范成俊，最喜欢的食物是鸡肉饭。
我是刘安，我最喜欢的球员是周杰伦。
我的名字是陈凯生，我最喜欢的运动员是史蒂芬库里。
我的名字是吴彦凯，我最喜欢的球队是洋基。
我的名字是吴云熙，我最喜欢的球员是大谷翔平。
我的名字是叫叶清汉，我最喜欢的球队是天使。
我叫吴晨阳，我最喜欢的动物是企鹅。
2 games, 2 wins. A 6-0 win over Canada, that perfect game, and then a 10-0 win over Japan in that 4-inning run rule no-hitter with a big inning for the manager Lee Chang-ta. He's got 14 players on his roster, and again, continuous batting order. Everybody hits. X, you've been really impressed with their offense.
Yeah, the one thing with Chinese Taipei is they do a really good job of staying disciplined and getting a pitch in the zone. They don't really expand outside of that zone, and they will take a lot of first pitch strikes.
Let's meet Sean Cerveri, brought to you by Dollar Car Rental. Favorite emoji, the Curaçao flag. So representing his country and his entire region. Comes on for his second outing. He pitched Monday against Venezuela in relief. 2 innings of shutout ball, as you saw, with 4 strikeouts.
And he pitches backwards. He'll throw that curveball first to set up the fastball once in a while. That's rare to see for a 12-year-old.
He was here last year as a reserve when this group, with all the history from last year's team, was runners-up. And right on cue, pitching backwards to start out, Woo Yun-shi, the first baseman for Chinese Taipei. In 5 plate appearances, Woo has a team best 3 hits, couple of doubles, 2 RBIs, and he scored 3 runs. And it's 2-0 against it.
X, I have seen more pitchers in this Little League World Series be able to command a curveball than I've ever seen. It has been so impressive.
Sean Cerveri tinkering with the grip. And his 2-0 to Woo. He's a heater.
And honestly, Tim, I think that's going to be the way that you ultimately try to keep Chinese Taipei off balance, right? Being able to go to that off speed, throw up for strikes, be able to bust them in with that fastball, continue to give them a different look because they are extremely disciplined on their approach at the plate.
They scored the 10 runs against Japan on just 4 hits. They worked 9 walks in that game.
And they have more walks than strikeouts in the Little League World Series. That's unbelievable. That's impossible to do at this level.
It does feel like the offense has been a little bit undersold because of how good the pitching and notably Fan Chan-jun has been here. This one hits Woo Yun-shi, so a hit batter starts things out for Chinese Taipei. All right, so how do we get to this point? A reminder on how it all works here in Williamsport if you're new to this. We started with 20 teams, 10 on the U.S. side, 10 on the international side. Double elimination format, 6-inning games, mostly 12-year-olds. Fences here at 225 feet. And again, new this year is that continuous batting order. Brings up Chen Kai-sheng. He had a big 2-run double in the 3rd inning against Japan on Monday and takes a strike from Cerveri. Favorite subject, math.
A lot of math kids here. My father was a PhD in mathematics, undergrad MIT. These are my favorite kids.
This is line foul, and it's 0-2.
And I will tell you, fellas, I am openly rooting for a ground ball to the infield here because the second baseman, shortstop for Curacao make the double play as well as any two kids I've seen this year. Roach at second base has the best transfer in the Little League World Series this year. I'm praying we get a chance to see it.
Just outside. It only took 7 pitches for our first mention of that second baseman. I wondered how quick it would be, Tim.
Look, I love infield so much. I could watch it all day, and I watched those kids for the second time in this series. They can really do it.
Cerveri's 1-2. Bounce to third. Here's Provacia on a turn. Trouble getting it out of the mitt on a strong throw from Shamar Jacobus. And what was that, Tim?
Well, it wasn't a great feed. Otherwise, he would have made the turn. They're not getting 2 on that ball anyway. But that was not an easy ball to handle from the third baseman. That made it difficult to make his perfect transfer. See, I was a little bit down. Still got the play. Still got the out.
Yeah, if you want to get the attention of either of you two as analysts, the time to do it is not when either team is taking infield, outfield, because you guys are locked in.
You can tell so much about a team by the integrity of the infield that they take.
Well, here is the talk of the tournament, Fan Chun-Jun. He's not eligible to pitch today. He is eligible to pitch tomorrow. So should Chinese Taipei lose this game, you could roll him out in a must-win tomorrow. He's not in the field, but he is their 3-hitter, and he has crushed a home run already in this tournament as well.
X, I got to look at his legs. He has some big, strong legs. That's the first time I've met him today.
Trunks, huh? But to your point, Chinese Taipei is going to put a lot of balls in play, and for Curaçao to stay in this game and have success, they have to be defensively sound. And we understand that they are a good defensive team. They also can't make those mental mistakes here today.
With those tree trunks as his base, here comes the 1-1 pitch to Fan Chun-Jun. That rides inside and gets away from Nathan Nar, and Chen Kai-sheng moves up to second, advancing 60 feet into scoring position.
I'd probably walk him, honestly, Mike. Just what we've seen from an offensive standpoint, the strength that he possesses, I'd take my chances going after the next guy.
He's already been intentionally walked once here when it was 3-0. They didn't even want to mess around with one pitch out of the zone. 3-1 here on Fan Chun-Jun.
You know, you look at those big legs on pitchers of all time, Tom Seaver, Nolan Ryan. Those guys had great arms because they had great, big, strong legs.
That allows for the velocity again up to 82 miles an hour. Hot shot right field, base hit Fan. Chen is windmilled around from second and scores. And Fan Chun-Jun can hit 2.
Yeah, Chen did a really nice job of not breaking stride as he approached third base to end up scoring on this one. Fan did a really nice job of just staying with this pitch. He gets his hands inside. We talked about how short, compact his swing is. Does a nice job of taking it where it came from. It offers Chinese Taipei their first run of the game.
And brings up the cleanup man, Wu Chen-yong. In the opener for Chinese Taipei, Wu had a 2-run single in the first inning against Canada. He's also worked a couple of walks here. Check swing, did he go? Yes, he did. It's 0-2.
And he's a badminton player. He is a big badminton player.
5'7", $181.
That's more than you, Mike.
0-2. Swing and a miss. Well, you said it, Tim. Pitching backwards, and Sean Cerveri starting with some breaking balls and finishing as well.
If you can't overpower them, you have to beat them some other way. And I've seen some artful pitching in this Little League World Series, and we just saw it in that at bat.
So 2 out, 1 on, a run in, top of the first. And here's the shortstop for Chinese Taipei, and their captain, Xu Xiaoxia. And a big day at the plate Monday against Japan. 2-run double in the first, bases loaded walk in the third. And after the game, he talked about wanting to have a good showing in front of his parents, who are here. We were talking with the coaching staff down on the field before the game. 14 players on the roster. 6 of them have at least one parent who's made the nearly 8,000-mile trip from Taiyuan. Cerveri fires just outside.
And we learned that information from the translator.
Yes.
Dr. Phil.
Philip Chang, the former Olympic swimmer for Chinese Taipei. Bouncing ball past the mound toward wheel to the bag. That is smooth. We said watch the middle infielders, but Taiwan draws first blood here in the top of the first. Williamsport is the capital of Curaçao, which is in the southern Caribbean Sea, a country of the Kingdom of the Netherlands, part of the ABC Islands, and the country in total has a population of about 150 or 160,000. Yet, as we always talk about when they are here, a baseball hotbed. Great beaches in Curaçao as well, and so much history here in Williamsport. Pabo Little League, all-time at the Little League World Series, 11 trips, including this year, 1 title, and 3 other trips to the final. Let's meet the team.
Mi nombre es Javier Felicia, mi jugador favorito es Ozzy Alves.
Mi nombre es Joshua Costa, mi atleta favorito es Cristiano Ronaldo.
Mi nombre es Richard Winkler y mi comida favorita es hamburger.
Mi nombre es Alexander Bavassi Roach y mi comida favorito es pizza.
Mi nombre es Tomás Sofia Cobos y mi jugador favorito es Júlio Profile.
Mi nombre es Gilles Will y mi jugador favorito es Manny Machado.
Mi nombre es Sean Silveri y mi actor favorito es Tom Cruise.
Mi nombre es Nasir Eloisais y mi actor favorito es Kevin Hart.
Mi nombre es Nathan Hart, mi actor favorito es Martin Lawrence.
Mi nombre es Helmi Relmeyer, mi cantor favorito es Nelo.
Mi nombre es Juan Ramón Ferreras y mi actor favorito es The Rock.
Mi nombre es Jaden Lawrence Marty y mi jugador favorito es Hugh Jung Marty.
2 wins, both by the identical score of 2-1. And Zino Everett is 31, and you said he's been coaching for 16 years.
Right, and again, he called that win in their last game the biggest win of his coaching career.
12 players, they all bat 1 through 12 for Pabo Little League, Williamsport, Curaçao. And they face on the mound Tsai Yuen Hao, 12-year-old left-hander at 5'3", and like me, a pizza lover.
And he closed the game yesterday, and now he's starting the game today. Let's see Josh Hader try that one.
And here's the second baseman we love for Curaçao leading off, Alexander Provasia, one of 5 returners from last year's runner-up team in the international champs. He had a couple of walks on Monday out of the leadoff spot and gets a strike. Pretty good velo from the lefty.
One thing I gathered watching infield, every kid on this team has a plus throwing arm. Every one of them. All 3 outfielders can throw, and Cy can really throw too. Oh, since he's 12, he would be Cy Young, right?
And again, effectively their number 3 starting pitcher.
It's not fair. Todd Frazier told me he saw 2 other guys throwing in the bullpen, and it was just cheddar, he called it.
This is popped up by Provasia, and catch made by Leo, stepping in front of Xu for the first out.
So the point is, the ball's not in play very often against Chinese Taipei, but when it is, they can really catch it.
I mean, X, you talked about all the history off the top, about how rare it is to even throw multiple no-hitters here. They've done it in their first 2 games.
Well, I mean, the crazy thing, in the first 2 games, opponents were 0 for 30, and literally 2 people have been on base against Chinese Taipei. They gave up a walk and a hit by pitch. That doesn't make any sense. It's 22 strikeouts they've had in 2 games. Absolutely impressive.
Well, here's one of the stars for Curaçao, Jadlin Wheel, back from last year's team, favorite athlete Steph Curry.
Ball.
He's been big on the mound for Curacao this year. He's been fiery and very expressive as well.
And I think because of him and the 5 returners that you mentioned from last year's team, there's a lot of confidence that you can feel off of this team. They're not going to scare easily. They're going to stay in the game. They're going to be focused. They're going to feel like they can beat anybody on this stage.
It's only the 14th Little League ever in the history of this event to bring back at least 5 guys from the year before. And only 5 of those teams, including this one, was in the title game the year prior. And so really one of the 5 most experienced and successful teams we've ever had coming back.
Right. X, what does that mean when you got 5 guys coming back?
I mean, there's so much continuity within your team, right? You understand what each guy is doing, and the younger guys, the newer guys can feed off of that.
Will drills this one. Left center, he admires, it's gone! And a bat flip for the ages.
He carried the bat almost all the way to first and then flipped it. The first hit off the Chinese Taipei is a home run.
Jalen Will gets this pitch right over the heart of the plate, up towards the chest level, and he knows it's gone off the bat. He's doing his Sammy Sosa skip and the bat flip to follow. What an amazing way to start this game for Curaçao. They make a statement early in the first with one of their returnees from last year's team.
And Dad Reynard loves it. Reynard was telling Sebastian last game that Jalen got a lot stronger from last year because they would work out together doing dips and pull-ups. The first hit against Taiwan is a loud one. And now the last 2 hits for Curaçao here are home runs, because this guy, Nasir El Osais, had that massive home run, the 2-run shot that Sebastian documented. And I love what Nasir said. It went in the bushes.
One of my questions coming into this game was whether or not Curaçao was going to be ready in time for Chinese Taipei's delivery from a pitching standpoint. When Chinese Taipei faced Canada and Japan, it felt like their hitters were just not ready on time. That wasn't the case for Jalen Will. He was ready early and demolished that.
不太敢转哈，啊，教练给你机会，你要勇敢去尝试啊，懂不懂？哦，也没有大家都，你看我们头后面的有手背，我叫你转地上，我是比低的啊，所以你控球要控好啊，你不能怕的用放的啊，有没有听到？好不好？好，要吹的情况就吹，你不能这样放球，放球的时候那手背怎么守？知不知道？啊，来鼓励一下来，来大家笑一下来，好来，第一局而已哦，好不好？加油！加油！
So producer Gus told us, he said, field well, stay strong. I did not know that Gus spoke this language. That's very impressive.
It's amazing that Gus speaks every language of the 10 international teams.
He's just always speaking in general. That's what we love about it, right?
No, don't need to walk it back. Our thanks indeed to Liam in the truck for translating. Lee Chung-Tam, by the way, here as international champions himself as a coach in 2009, and then 3rd place finishers 3 years later in 2012. 2-2 from Tsai. Popped up foul.
And Tim, we got to like the message from the head coach coming out there, kind of trying to settle some things down early on, let them relax, and you could tell that he was trying to get them to smile as well.
I totally agree. That's an early visit, but an important visit.
2-2 to Nasir El Osais, and he strikes out on a heater up. So 2 outs, bases empty. In a 1-1 game in the first. Brings up the cleanup man and center fielder for Curaçao, Joshua Acosta. The rare switch hitter that we've got here.
You know, I've done all sorts of research on when people become switch hitters. And trust me, 12 is very young to be a switch hitter, and the younger, the better.
Do you find any commonalities on what age it typically is?
No, I don't. Eddie Murray became a switch hitter in AA balls. His manager said, why don't you try hitting left-handed tonight? He got 2 hits, and that was it.
Never too late. So Pi 2-1.
It's usually a little tougher early on just because the guys are going to mostly face right-handed pitchers. You don't see a lot of lefties specifically pitching in Little League. So a lot of times you'll see those guys just be taking their at-bats on the right side, facing those lefties and righties.
Joshua says he likes always having a breaking ball coming to him instead of ever having it go away from him.
Makes sense. Tony Clark, the head of the Players Association, was a switch hitter at this age because he told me he was so much bigger and better than everyone else. They wouldn't let him hit right-handed. He had to hit left-handed in order to make the game a little squarer.
Rules that were never enacted for us. 3-1. Acosta cuts through it and a full count.
Well, they've swung and missed a couple times, but they have had some pretty healthy hacks here.
Yeah, I like the idea that they're going to stay aggressive. They're going to get their good swings in. They're on balance and on time.
Popped up, back in X's direction. That's something Todd Frazier could not do successfully when he was in this booth. Catch a ball that came into the booth. Dropped it.
Why would he even try to catch it without a glove on? If a ball comes up here, I will be under the desk. And I don't even have to crouch down to get under the desk. Ball!
Just outside and Acosta walks. I'm just trying to arm you with some ammo for Todd in your guys' ongoing battles here.
You see a little frustration from Sai after that pitch there. He was hoping to get that one. A lot of times you'll see these Chinese Taipei young players kind of hold those emotions in, but you could tell he's fighting that strike zone a little bit right now.
Again, the only time we've seen him pitch so far was 3 up, 3 down, 2 strikeouts. It was really quick work against Canada. And now he's had to go over 20 pitches here in the first inning alone. And he faces Sean Cerveri, his counterpart. Big fan of Harry Potter. In the air, center field, but room for Lean to make the catch. Inning over. Curaçao never lacks for emotion, X.
Especially not Jalen Will. Check out my boy after he hit this ball. He knew that was gone. Give me my hugs because I just put us right back in it.
Chinese Taipei has won 14 championships in 16 appearances. Chinese Taipei regains the Little League title.
Chinese Taipei celebrates its 17th World Series championship.
Yeah, a record 17 times Chinese Taipei has been the Little League World Series champion. Not since 1996, and this team's looking pretty darn good.
Well, X, you have seen them before. They hit, they pitch, they play defense. They have no weakness. Is that true?
It doesn't seem to have much of a weakness so far. I think the biggest thing for them is now facing a team that in Curaçao that's aggressive, but also they understand the strike zone, right? So they'll be disciplined as well. It's gonna be fun watching both these teams go at it for at least 6 innings.
Curaçao punched them in the face. That hadn't happened in this Little League World Series yet, right?
Yep. And it'll be interesting to see how Curaçao handles this game as well, because Zino Everett, we talked to him down on the field pregame. To him, it's all about pitching, defense, and manufacturing runs somehow in these games.
Play!
Liu Jun, the second baseman for Chinese Taipei, leads off against Sean Cerveri in the second, squaring to bunt.
Third baseman was charging on that one, thinking it might be a bunt. He's in awfully shallow. X, I've seen a lot of guys square around a bunt and then not bunt, and they're not bunting even at a strike. Are they doing that to throw the pitcher off? What do you think's behind that?
I think it's more of a little bit distraction, specifically with Chinese Taipei. A lot of times they'll do that knowing that they're going to take a strike. They're up there most of the time, honestly, waiting till the pitcher proves that they can be able to locate that first pitch strike. they're just perfectly fine hitting with 2 strikes. And a lot of times youngsters aren't that comfortable doing so.
Cerveri's 1-2, fouled away by Lai. We've also seen some fantastic bunts intentionally and bunt hits, none bigger than Japan's last night to win and stay alive.
I saw 3 brilliant bunts on the American side. The big leaguers should be watching these games.
Great breaking ball from Cerveri, his second strikeout and his first down the second. Want your child to experience the teamwork and fun of Little League baseball or softball? Well, visit playlittleleague.org and enter your address to find a Little League community program near you. Big crowd here at Volunteer Stadium for this one. The news is out on both these teams. Linwei Hong, that's second in this inning. He's the center fielder, and he squares and takes a 2-seamer tailing away.
And he weighs 74 pounds. This is the beauty of this sport. It's open to all shapes and sizes as long as you have the skill to play it.
Drops down a bunt, back at Cerveri, who handles it for out number 2.
This is one thing that you'll see a lot with Chinese Taipei. Just bunting, trying to put the ball in play, trying to put the pressure on the defense of Curaçao. We mentioned how Curaçao's experienced. They understand they've been here. 5 of them have been here before. And being disciplined defensively is going to be extremely important for them today. Nice job right there, fielding that bunt and making the out.
So 2 down, base is empty. And Tsai Yuan Hao, the pitcher, bats for Chinese Taipei.
And his favorite band is Queen. I found that a little surprising. Should I not? I don't know anything about music, but
I can't say even at my age that I've listened to a ton of Queen. Line to second and caught by Provacia. Very quick, 1-2-3 second on 9 pitches for Sean Cerveri. Former Major League All-Star Jonathan Scope was here in 2003 at the Little League World Series, and then, oh yeah, he was here in 2004 as well when this group was champions. Scope got the save. He's great friends with Zino Everett, and look who's here in Williamsport, down with Sebastian Salazar.
What a moment. Jonathan Scope joining me here in the front row at Volunteer Stadium. So the guys upstairs were just talking about your close relationship with Zino. I guess it goes way back to what, like adolescence? How long y'all known each other?
It goes way back. It goes since we was kids, since we played Little League together, you know, and he lived right to my house, so it goes way back. So me and him is really close friends, and I come here to support him and support Curaçao and support the kids.
Was he always like this, man? Our guy's like jumping out of the stadium.
Man, this guy is amazing, you know. He's a really good talker, you know. He's a really good motivation guy. So the best manager they can have, and the best manager Curaçao can have. You know, he's a really good. He motivates the guys really good. He even motivates myself sometimes.
Really?
Yeah, of course.
What's his message to you?
You know, like look at him. You know, he has so confidence in himself, and he make you believe. If he believes in himself, he make you believe in himself too. So you know. He's talking with you and motivate you, make you believe in yourself. Even if you don't believe in yourself, he's gonna make you believe in yourself.
So this team's kind of similar to your team, right? Came back-to-back years. Like, what's the difference in that second year compared to that first?
Well, in the second year, you have more experience, you know, and the guys that come back, you know, like Will and those guys, they have more experience, and they can share it to the other guys. And the big moment, you know, they can calm themselves down and just play the game and enjoy the game. You know, the league is it's a fun game, and you just go out there and do your best and enjoy it.
You mentioned Jalen. What did you think of that home run?
Man, amazing. That guy's amazing. You know, that almost first time watching it from close. You know, it's really amazing. You know, cheer. You know, joy come back. You know, coming back to the Little League. You know, I always want to do that. You know, and I got a chance to secure us out here. You know, I'm really happy and excited.
20 years later, what's it like? Are the memories coming back?
Of course, man. Of course, the cheers come back, the memories come back. You know, happiness. You know, and you see yourself in the field, and you know. now I know how nervous my parents was when I was playing, because I'm a nervous guy right now, you know, so, and I'm cheering for them.
So we know there's something special happening on the island of Curaçao in terms of baseball talent production, but specifically with this Little League, like, what is the secret there?
Man, I wanna know, you know, the goal for us as a player is you wanna come to the Little League, and then you wanna sign to pro so you can go to the big league. So you decided everybody want to come to the Little League. Everyone want to win to come here. So, you know, and the coaches, you know, they do a good job. And the parents, you know, everybody in Curaçao, man, it's the whole island. The whole island got your back, they support you, you know, and, you know, it's a great moment to come here and represent your country.
You mentioned that. What's it like back home? Like, is your phone blowing up right now? I mean, I feel like I have more followers from Curaçao than I've ever had before.
Man, it's amazing. Like I said, you know, the whole Curaçao is behind those kids. You know, the whole Curaçao is cheering for them. Everybody watching the game right now. You know, that's how big it is in Curaçao. Everybody's watching the game, and everybody, you know, cheer for them.
All right, Jonathan, we're gonna let you watch the game. Thanks a lot, man. Really appreciate it.
Thank you, guys.
Guys, back to you.
How cool is that?
X is one of the great parts of Little League is when players come back to support their country like this. And what a thrill it is for the Curaçao kids. And a really good big league player comes to watch them play.
Yeah, you think about the team, knowing that they have support from a guy that has 174 career big league home runs. That's so special to think that he has that type of love for this team right here.
So I did the Nevada game last night. Nolan Gifford is their star player. He idolizes Bryce Harper. And at the Little League Classic, Bryce Harper is in the on-deck circle. Before he walks to the plate, he goes up to Nolan Gifford and says, "I hope I hit as well as you do tonight." How about that? How about a 12-year-old at a game and Bryce Harper finds him, talks to him, and then goes to the plate?
Wow. I mean, and Jonathan Scopes said it to Sebastian. He's nervous. That's how much this means to him, watching 12-year-olds. And to him, Jadlin Wheel is a household name. Right. He knows about him because of both how good Jadlin Wheel and this team are, but then also the close-knit nature of the island.
And then Harper sent a bat to Nolan Gifford, an autographed bat, which he received on Monday.
That's
how great is
the
that?
The Fanatic one, right?
Yeah.
I want one of the #2 pencil bats. That's what I want. Well, Shamar Jacobus grounded out. Deshaun Winkler walked. Those are a couple of guys who were here last year, much like Jonathan Scope, a two-time participant here at the Little League World Series. And now Helmir Helmer, who is the starting pitcher in Curaçao's first game, faces Tsai Yuen Hao.
And he said if he wins the lottery, he's going to buy Aruba. I did not know it was for sale.
Xander Bogaerts, native of Aruba. He was here last year. He pulled the whole Curaçao team onto the field before the Little League Classic that night. Outside 2-2.
Those are the moments that are so important. I took the Nationals bus here from the airport the other day. Dom Smith is in the back passing out his Instagram number, which I just found out it's not a number, it's a page. I don't know anything about Instagram, but he was passing along Instagram pages to the kids.
Instagram handle.
I don't know anything about this.
Tim almost went down here in the booth.
So bad. Whenever it's technology, awesome. I am terrible.
Off the end of the bat to short at Shu. The turn from Lai, the throw. Got him. That is textbook. You guys both raved about the defense from Chinese Taipei. It's on display.
6-4-3.
Check out Shu over here at shortstop doing a nice job with the feed. Then you see a perfect feed over to first. The defense is where it's at for Chinese Taipei. They handle the job with the DP.
Leo Yo On, they call him Crazy On because he acts the craziest on the team and he's the performer of the team. And Tim, the question is, do you know what the verb is for what he just did?
If it has anything to do with music or pop culture, the answer is an emphatic no.
X, help out.
I was waiting for Tim to start freestyling over the beatboxing he was doing.
Look, we've been clear about this. I'm the worst dancer ever. There is no freestyling. I'm more wooden than Pinocchio, so leave me out of this, all right?
X, give us a good beatbox. Come on.
I'll give you a little bit.
Tim, your thoughts.
He is so cool compared to me. I'm divisible by 4. I'm so square.
Why you just put me on the spot with the beatbox?
That was good, X. Leo Yohan, crazy on, leads off.
X is a very talented guy, and we just found out his mother is younger than me. How can that be?
I'm not that much younger than you, though.
She's still younger.
Shout out, Mom. My mom was the one that you hear the crazy moms out there screaming the whole time. That was my mom. Like, you could hear her above anybody else. Like, Mom, take a seat, relax, I'll take care of business. You don't have to scream at me in the stands.
Speaking of parents, by the way, on a more serious note, the story for Leo Yohan is special. He's from a single-parent household, and his father works day and night as a truck driver, long hours, so that Leo Yohan and his older brother can play baseball. And his older brother just won the Junior League World Series in Taylor, Michigan. And now younger brother trying to follow suit here in Williamsport. One away in the third. This week, Sunday Night Baseball heads to Oracle Park for the series finale between the Braves and Giants at 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific on ESPN, ESPN Deportes, and ESPN Radio. 6 Eastern, 3 Pacific. Baseball tonight, Sunday Night Countdown and K-Rod on ESPN2.
Mike, I think what you mentioned about Leo, that's what kind of gets lost a little bit, is the sacrifices these parents make, right? It's so many of them are working so hard just for an opportunity to put their kids in sports and to be able to have an opportunity to go to practice and not miss those practices and games. We give so much credit to them, because without them, this isn't happening.
Amen to that. These parents, these family members, siblings, they make it all happen on this journey. This is Woo Chin Yu, and he grounds it to third at Shamar Jacobus. 2 quick outs, and now it's 7 in a row set down by Sean Cerveri settling in.
And he looks good. He's been changing speeds, and I think the one thing facing a Chinese Taipei team who has a lot of discipline, if you're able to kind of keep them off balance, guessing a little bit with what you're coming with, you have an opportunity to get some quick outs and a lot of weak contact.
2 outs, and it brings up Yi Ching Han. Speaking of parents, we met his mother and his uncle before the game. And Yi Ching Han, we've told you, has probably the best nickname on the team. It's his favorite food, soup dumpling.
By the way, all food is Mike's favorite food. He can really eat. Mike, it's very impressive how you're in such great shape eating that much.
You can put it down for a guy weighing 185, huh?
You don't weigh 185, do you?
No chance.
Did I give him too many pounds?
Too many. I'd say 165 maybe.
Goodness. Thought you've been bulking.
Sebastian, then now that's like 135.
That's my area too. That's why this booth is so good. I'm the same size as the player, and Mike is the same age.
Oh boy. And you say Ravi's a very fast eater, is that right?
Oh, dinner is done in 4 minutes with Ravi. And same with Todd. He ate a pork chop in 6 minutes the other night at Franco's.
Sean Cerveri's 0-2 is fisted foul. The Japanese parents brought us some rice balls during the game yesterday that they've been making for the players on the team and their family members, and were kind enough to bring some up here yesterday.
Really? They must have been great.
Oh,
they were excellent.
0-2 again from Cerveri. And
he went.
Check swing. He did. Tim will handle all appeals. We're having a lot of fun here through 2.5 innings at the Little League World Series.
stats are provided by Game Changer, the official scorekeeping and stats technology partner of Little League and the Little League World Series. Game Changer now offers free live streaming for regular season local youth games, plus automatic video highlight clips when you stream and score your games.
Well done, Xavier.
Really good read for X.
That's one of the tougher ones that I've had here. It's a lot of words, and sometimes I feel like I'm going to slip up.
X just takes them one word at a time.
That's it. What do we got here for dance moves, Tim? Approve?
Yeah, well, kids are all good dancers. My son is a great dancer, and his dad is the worst.
Jeffrey is?
Yes, really good. Natural rhythm.
Bottom 3, 1-1. We got a heck of a ball game going in the international bracket. Both these teams unbeaten so far, in the winner, as you see at the top of your screen, goes right to the international championship Saturday afternoon. Loser will have to come back and play tomorrow against whoever wins later today in the Japan and Mexico rematch.
X, what I love here, and I've always loved here, these hitters are in swing first mode all the time. We can teach plate discipline later. You have to go to the plate here thinking, I'm going to swing the bat.
Yeah, the aggressiveness of the hitters definitely is one of those things that you can see early in these games. And I think in order for you to have confidence as a young hitter, you have to be thinking, I got to be ready to hit. I got to be looking for something and ready to swing the bat.
And they all stand right on top of the plate and say, go ahead, bring it in here. If you hit me, I'm going to first base. Very impressive.
I was talking with my 9-year-old godson today. It's his birthday today. Happy birthday to him. And he was saying the same thing. He said these kids at the Little League World Series, they stand right on top of the plates. Nar was in swing mode. He fans against Ty. And we go down to Sebastian.
Guys, I'm here with 5 members from the 1973 Bitburg Air Base team out of what was then West Germany. They played in the international bracket. We got Jeff, Roger, George, Danny, and Tom. Jeff Ralston, you're kind of the ringleader. So a 50th anniversary reunion. What y'all been doing?
It's been quite emotional, actually. I had hoped for that, not necessarily as much as spilled out, but we did a banquet, had quite a bit of emotion during that, and it was just a great time to see one another and rekindle some memories.
I mean, it's 50 years. The friendships are really still that close?
I think it has a lot to do with our military background. We were young kids from a base that was not necessarily isolated, but the base itself was isolated. So we did everything together. All sports essentially went out of the house in the morning, went to the fields, did the old sandlot routine. So that's how we got real close, and the team had that kind of chemistry. I was just a small part of it, but it just has great memories. I have to add this. There are 3 things in my life that I remember. 73 World Series. I was in Berlin assigned. I was active duty military at the time when the Berlin Wall came down. And then I was in the building on 9/11, stationed at the Pentagon. So it's, that was obviously a somber moment, but those other 2 memories were quite fantastic.
Really a core memory there. Speaking of memories, I got my guy Roger here. So Roger, you got any particularly standout memories from 73?
Well, it's not one of my fondest memories. But
what happened?
Well, I had all my cousins, all my uncles, and my Southern Maryland's home. And we're playing Canada, and I had 9 errors in one game, 6 errors in an inning, and 4 in a row.
Ooh.
But our coach Norris, he kind of kept everybody going. And Coach Norris, at the end of that, I'm up there 12 years old, crying my heart out. And he said, look, Roger, it's not that bad. You got a World Series record, you know? so that's my fondest memory. But came back and we won, beat New York, and that kind of put that. It's like baseball. You just forget about that. Next game, go on to the next one.
How much has changed since 73?
Well, I asked that question yesterday to all my teammates. Could we have competed at this level with these kids? But, back when we were at Bitburg and our other bases, when it was baseball season, we played baseball. When it was football season, we played football. When it was basketball season, we played basketball. So we didn't play year-round like the kids do today. I mean, I actually been involved in baseball all my career, and I do private hitting lessons. And I got kids that play all year long, and so I think that was a difference. I think we were athletic enough, but our dads were the ones who taught us. And playing the sandlot baseball. I mean, we would play with 6 people, put one in the left, one in the short, one on the mound, close off right field, and then if you got the ball to the pitcher before you got to first base, you were out. And we just were playing the game all the time. So our skill levels came from that, but we didn't have the resources they have today.
50 years later, what does it mean to you to be back here and back with your boys?
I haven't seen some of these guys in 50 years. I've been in touch with him. One of my teammates lives an hour away, but it's been awesome. And we've lost 2 of our teammates, and having their families here, Frankie Arlano and his mother, sister, and brother came, and Kenny Tomko we lost. His older brother Frank and his wife Cindy came, and that just made it special.
What a great story. Great to have you here. You know, guys, we always hear from the parents, the kids, that this is something they'll never forget. I think here we got proof.
50 years later, I mean, you hear the emotion in the voice, and it's what they talked about, maybe more emotional than they thought. Ground ball right side, and Lai ends the inning after Curaçao threatened on an infield single from Jaden Lorenz-Marti, but we stay tied at 1 to the 4th. Welcome you back to the Little League Baseball World Series presented by T-Mobile. Needville, Texas is coming up an hour from now, and they're already 3-0. DJ Jablonski's got the sweet swing going up against Seattle. Tim, you've seen both those teams.
Right, I've seen Seattle twice. That team can really go. They hit, they catch the ball, they really pitch well. Really good American team. And so is Tennessee, boy. And Texas. They're all good, the teams that are left.
Tennessee in the building here before they play tonight in a must-win against California. The last 2 games of today are elimination games. The winners advance into tomorrow against the losers from our first 2 games today. Stella and the fellas.
Stella is the tallest girl. She's the tallest player on the team, and she's one of the fastest. It's so great watching her play.
Here's a bunt up the line from Chioza Wei, and trying to elude takes him very far from the baseline.
X, that was very impressive. The first baseman said, let's get this before it goes foul, because he knows there's no chance he's going to beat me to the bag on this.
Absolutely. That's one of the things you're taught as a first baseman. If you have an opportunity to get this ball before it goes foul, especially with time to be able to get that runner, that's big right there. It's a nice job of being aggressive, attacking the baseball in that sense.
By Jaden Lorenz-Marti. So there's 1 out for Sean Cerveri, who's really been locked in. He's now set down 9 in a row after giving up a couple of base runners out of the gates in the top of the first. It's the 13th man in Chinese Taipei's 14-player lineup, and a comebacker from Xia Pin Hong. And 2 quick outs for Sean Cerveri.
Well, X, he's just filling it with strikes, and the Chinese Taipei team, as you said, are so disciplined. They're not going out of the strike zone, but most pitches are in the strike zone.
He's done a very nice job of, other than one extra guy basically facing the minimum, doing a good job of being efficient, knowing that that second time around the order gets a little bit tougher, as the young hitters have seen you once already.
So here's the last guy to see him for the first time, Wu Yankai. And only 1 hit for Chinese Taipei against Sean Cerveri. His first start here, his second appearance on the bump for Curaçao. And that's outside 1-1.
Little shout out today. It's Mike Yastrzemski's birthday today.
All right.
And yesterday was Carl Yastrzemski's birthday.
Love that. Line drive past third, and Jacobus into left. And Wu Yankai's got hit number 2 for Chinese Taipei.
X, when you're facing great velocity like this, sometimes you just got to let the bat, let the pitcher provide the velocity here, and you can knock it past the third baseman.
Check this out, just nice and easy. Put the ball in play, like you mentioned. Got himself back up after he stumbled at first base. That's one of the things as a young hitter that I was taught, and my dad kind of repeated it over and over, is let the pitcher supply the power. Don't feel like you have to be overly aggressive and try to go get the baseball. The pitchers that throw harder, you're the one that wants to let them kind of do their thing and just make contact.
Wu Yankai's first hit here at the Little League World Series. And now back to the top of Chinese Taipei's lineup for the first baseman, Wu Yunxi. Got hit by a pitch to start this ball game. 2-0.
And Tim, I'm sure you've seen the same importance on the other side on Lamedy, just how important it is to get some of these younger or some of these lower guys in the order to be on base for those guys at the top of the order.
Crucial. Cerveri's 2-0. That's a strike. Sean Cerveri has been nails his first time through. 2-1. Rolls outside and good discipline from Wu.
It's the advantage of having already seen the pitcher one time through. Now you kind of understand where that pitch breaks and where it needs to start in order for it to be a strike.
Cerveri's 3-1. So back to a fastball and fought off foul and a full count.
You know, what has really struck me again is the difference between Lamedy and here is the foul territory and the distance from the plate to the screen. This is an enormous park. This is like playing at the Oakland Coliseum, whereas very little foul territory and very little distance between the plate and the screen at Lamedy.
3-2. Just misses. 2 on for Chinese Taipei.
That's a close one right there, Tim.
We've seen some big strike zones. We've seen some smaller ones. It's a little tighter. All good.
From the batter's armpits to the top of the knees. Chen Kai-sheng reached on a fielder's choice and has scored the only run for Taiwan in this game. And now the always expressive and the motivational, as Jonathan Scope said, Zino Everett comes out clapping.
A mi da gusta, man. A mi da gusta. Upi dushi wega tira. Nami elasto out. Nami elasto out. Unga atrás. E gai batiro alin pa chamara oi. Bom, que da scarpi. Taba yendo obi bom. Pata cansa? No? Nami out aqui. Por. Mami brother. Bangay na. Hey! Do solti.
Last thing he said was, "Give me an out here."
I'm sure a lot of that conversation is, let's get this guy here because we understand Fan is up next. So let's not mess around. Let's go ahead and attack right here because we don't want to face Fan with bases loaded in a situation for him to do damage.
Chen Kai-sheng pulls back and swings and laces it into left. Wu Yankai to third, to the plates for the lead.
Chen doing a little bit of that slash, kind of showing the bunt early, and a lot of times Chinese Taipei will use this to get right back to where they want to be as far as short to the baseball. But kind of starting that bunt, get it back, pull it back early, and get right back to the short point of contact. And it did a very nice job of being able to place this into left field for an RBI.
And he knew with the big kid up next, he's going to get a strike. He got a strike up in the strike zone and jumped it.
And you talked about how these hitters come here ready to do damage aggressively and right away. And now will they intentionally walk Fan Chun-Jun?
I wouldn't even mess around with him. I would just put him on base and take my chances with Wu.
It's the second time he's been intentionally walked here, and a little frustration on his face as he goes down to first.
We had a potential intentional walk situation in our game last night, Nevada, and they went right after the kid. It was great. But if you're really, really trying to win the game, it's hard to question this because this is a great hitter who they now don't have to face.
Right.
So, X, obviously you're okay with an intentional walk.
Yeah, I am. And Wu has to show you that he can make contact, right? He already struck out in the first at-bat. Maybe they're feeling like they have some confidence facing him.
Cleanup man takes a breaking ball down and away.
Of course, the danger of walking the bases loaded is you better throw 3 strikes before 4 balls.
The batter, Wu Chen-yong. Inside 2-0 from Sean Cerveri. Who says when he's not playing sports, he likes to eat?
Well, that would be you too, Mike.
It's my kind of man right there.
Trying to feast on a 2-0. Misses, and it's 3-0 and nowhere to put Wu Chen-yong.
At X, you take it 1 or 2 here.
You got to auto take at least 1 here.
Down. 2-run game.
Well, Tim, you mentioned it. The important part was if you're going to walk somebody, you got to attack the next hitter and throw strikes. And unfortunately, but fortunately for Chinese Taipei, he was disciplined enough to take his walk.
And Zino Everett's coming to get Sean Cerveri.
Roman, concentrare, hey, brother. Hopi bom trabalho, papi. Hopi bom trabalho. Manhã sa papi, ah. Grande, we. Grande. Salve,
A pitching change for Curaçao with Chinese Taipei on top by 2 and looking for more back in 60 seconds. Perhaps their best pitcher for Curaçao. He's on the mound. Down by 2, bases loaded, 2 outs. They didn't go to him earlier. Now they do. If you lose this game, you got to play tomorrow. So for him to be able to pitch tomorrow, he's got to stay within 20 pitches here. And his first one is strike 1 to Xu Xiaoxia. So this is what we're looking at. When you are eligible based on how many pitches you throw today. And so you want Wield to be available tomorrow.
Well, X, it seems to me Coach thinks the game is right here. Bases loaded. You can't allow any more runs against a great team like Chinese Taipei. You bring in your best pitcher to get out of this.
Yeah, I don't think he wanted to go to him before the 5th inning. But honestly, you have to give a lot of credit to Chinese Taipei's last batter in the order, number 14 in the order, Wu Yun Kai. He got on base, and since then, they've just taken care of business.
Line drive, right field, and Winkler makes the catch, tumbling. So Jadlin Wheel does his job. Deshaun Winkler helps out, but Chinese Taipei takes the lead. Stick the landing.
All right, guys, Andy Martina and Boy Melford of Deporte Activo Radio Live absolutely losing their minds as Nasir Eloais hit the game-winning home run as Curaçao advanced here at the Little League World Series over Venezuela. Mike, X, Tim, I'm working on my papiamento, but did I catch a goal call in there? That was fantastic.
And how about the Little Leaguers as well, doing their best?
That was really good.
We had some John Sterling.
He did there. John Sterling. It is gone.
No.
That's the best. Well, 2-run deficit for Curaçao. Now facing a new pitcher, Xu Xiaoxia. Turns 13 years old in a few weeks against the leadoff man for Curaçao, Alexander Provacia. Xu is the team captain and Bennett short. He's the 4th different pitcher Chinese Taipei has used here, and he's pitching for the first time.
And this is Little League to perfection. Shortstop pitches all the time.
1-2. By the way, the starting pitcher for Chinese Taipei, who now departs this game, Tsai Yuan Hao, right at 50 pitches. So because of that, we showed you the rest required. He can now pitch Saturday as well. So they've been very strategic in how they've managed their arms throughout.
And Mike, the strategy by the coaches is critical.
Tsai did a really nice job, especially after that first inning. You know, not necessarily striking a bunch of guys out, but getting weak contact and navigating Curaçao's lineup.
Zino Everett comes down for a conversation. And Brinjamar Rapp as well. These two are locked at the hip. And maybe wondering if there was perhaps catcher's interference on the play. catcher interference is something that is challengeable by video review.
I think the question is, no, I don't know what the question is. It's confusing here.
Yeah, it looks like based on what Leo is doing over at third, wondering if it did catch the catcher maybe on the backswing.
Right, he definitely did not hit the catcher's mitt there.
Right.
Little pet peeve, Mike. It's a catcher's mitt, a first baseman's mitt. Everything else is a glove because they have fingers in them. The catcher's mitt and first baseman's mitt doesn't have fingers in it. Little pet peeve of mine.
I don't know if I've ever thought of that.
I think part of the issue is we don't really say mitt as much anymore. I think that's, I understand your pet peeve, but I think now and today the kids don't really say mitt.
Well, that's good. I've never heard a major league player who's not a first baseman or a catcher say, I got to go get my mitt. It's his glove. That's what it is.
Well, Tim, here on the international bracket, we know you just got cleared to fly to come over here.
Right.
We've had a first baseman who did not use a first baseman's mitt.
Right.
He just used the normal glove.
Right.
And we had a catcher who went through 3 catcher's mitts, plural, in the first inning of a game.
Was the webbing broken or something?
Yep. The first time the webbing broke before the first pitch actually of the game, of that inning. Then he got a new one. A few pitches later, didn't like it. Went to a third different one.
Nomar Garcia-Parra played some first base in the major leagues and used his fielding glove, not a first baseman's mitt.
Well, no catcher's interference here. And a 1-2 strikes out Provacia. And there's one away in the bottom of the 4th.
Yeah, Shu breaking it off right here, staying down in the zone. He's got a little K-strut after that one, too. See if pitching ninja will be on that one.
Well, now he faces Jadlin Will, who went deep in the first his first time.
Tim, he went deep, way back, and he knew it was gone off the bat, flipped it, spun, got his team on the board.
Ball 1 to start, and Jadlin Will with the stare down.
Look, if you hit a home run in the Little League World Series, you're allowed to bat flip. Wait your whole life to get here.
Shu fires, cut and a miss, and a little strut off the mound. These guys are going at it. This is shortstop against shortstop. Star against star.
Got a little strut.
Team captain against team captain. Here we go. Breaking ball doesn't tempt Jadlin Will. We talked with Zino Everett the other day. He said the key for Jadlin, yes, there's a lot of emotion, but harness it. Control the emotions. Don't let it get the best of you. Pops this one up 2-2.
Remember, we did the game last year where Jadlin got to third, celebrating a triple, and celebrated so much.
Yes.
He came off the bag, and they tagged him out.
Forgot about
And he said, that's the best learning lesson I've ever had. You can't allow that to happen. Again, you got to keep your emotions in check, even when you're 12 years old, and that's not easy to do.
2-2. Full counts.
Pretty sure Profar did that in the WBC as well back in the day. If I'm not mistaken, got picked off by Yadier Molina.
Jadlin with a look at intensity. Staring down a 3-2 from Shu. Fouls it off himself.
He doesn't get cheated, X, that's for sure. This kid can hit, and he takes a violent hack at it.
Winner advances into the Final Four at the Little League Baseball World Series presented by T-Mobile. Loser has to come back tomorrow and play, and after what would be a first loss, would face elimination. Shu Xiao fires the 3-2. It's a good battle.
Also, one of my favorite moments last year was when Wheel was at shortstop. They had a first and second, and I said, maybe they'll run the Wheel play here on the bunt. And then they ran the Wheel play, and Wheel covered third, and they got the out. It was the greatest moment for me of last year's Little League World Series. This is never going to happen, and then it did.
Wheel strikes out, and Shu is fired up. My goodness. Whoa.
Shu was waiting to say something. You know he was waiting to blow it by him. Look at him after the pitch. He's like, we here too. We here too. Let's go.
That was priceless.
Oh my goodness. 2 down, Nasir El Osais. First pitch swinging, floats it to second at Wu, and the inning is over. Shu Xiaoxia. He's got some gumption. Welcome back to ESPN's coverage of the Little League World Series presented by T-Mobile. Hey, the Little League Community Heroes Recognition Program helps to honor those dedicated individuals who not only volunteer their time at local Little League programs, but also contribute in other ways to improve their communities. To learn more, fellas, Tim Kirkjian, Xavier Scruggs, Sebastian Salazar, our entire crew behind the scenes. I'm Mike Monaco. This has been good.
Great game. 2 unbeaten teams in the international bracket. And X, we've had all sorts of drama in this thing so far and all sorts of emotion, too.
Yeah, the emotion is getting me pumped up right now. I feel like I'm 11 or 12 down there playing.
Liu Jun leads off in the 5th with Chinese Taipei up by 2 on Curaçao. Jadlin Wheel on the mound. Faced 1 batter last inning. That was Shu Xiaoxia, who lined down to right field, and then Shu comes in to pitch the next half inning, strikes out Jadlin Wheel, and now Wheel goes back to work. The 1-1. Jadlin's pitched a lot here between last year and this year, and if you combine his numbers, it's 15 innings, 1 earned run, 3 hits, and 22 strikeouts pitching at the Little League World Series in his career.
You know, X, how we say when a big leaguer's on a really hot tear, we say those are Little League numbers. That's precisely what we're talking about.
I mean, you just think about the confidence that he comes into this stage with. Haven't played here last year. You got a lot of the guys that have not been here looking up to him. And if you have somebody with that type of confidence, it feeds off into every other young player here.
Said the other day, being here a second time, it's so much better. I do have more experience, and I feel like I can help my team more. And he has said that pitching in spots like these is sort of the ace reliever, that he doesn't feel the pressure. He's facing Lin Wei Hong, who dropped down a bunch, tries to duck there, and that's called a strike. The 1-1. Hot shot, center field, base hit, Lin Wei Hong. Close play at second, and Lai beat it out, and so there's 2 on.
And again, Mike, that's a 74-pound kid hitting a rocket up the middle for a base hit. So good about this game. Shapes and sizes don't matter as long as you can play.
The 11-year-olds, when he came here, he celebrated his birthday here and turned 12 at 4'9". Another mound visit from Zino Everett.
Tabay bong, tabay bong. Anta metia bate pero un cono nos pesa scarpe aqui. Amba que não te move rápido. Não está break bing, Põe na terceira. Abate break, Will. Ando abate vai terceira. Com a liba linha. Bom? Que te scarpe. Amor. Pô. Abre a cara. Dá-me com smile libo. Dá-me com smile, não sou fake, é surreal. Dá-me aqui. Senão me tem que ter, mano. Okay, bang.
Zino Everett, by the way, is the Pete Carroll of Little League Baseball coaching, chomping on that gum.
Yeah.
Hey, Lacho, mitara kina, bibi. Bibi babakule, no sto kwa mañana swa. Toca nada toca. Spantanda.
Jadlin Wheel ready to work with 2 on, nobody out, and he pumps in strike 1 to Tsai Yuen Hao, who lined out to second his first time.
Showed bunt. The corners were charging on that.
Look at how tight Chancellor is at third, and then swinging to make it 0-2.
A nice job of Jalen Wheel, understanding with no outs, looks like a bunting situation, attacking the zone, being able to get to 2 strikes immediately. Kind of takes the bunt out of the picture.
0-2. Inside. Tim, you had mentioned one of the Chinese Taipei hitters earlier likes Queen. Well, the batter here at Tsai, big fan of My Heart Will Go On by Celine Dion. Favorite song. He was 14 years away from being born when it came out. Ground ball right side at Provacia. And they drop it at short, and they're loaded.
I like Provacia's thinking right there, trying to get that force at second to keep the double play in order. But just a little mishandled, maybe a little bit off toward the arm side. Ends up loading them here for Chinese Taipei.
Outs are such a premium. You got to get a sure out. The best play was at second there, like X said, but it wasn't executed.
Good breaking ball to start out to the beatboxing Liu Yuan.
Celine Dion.
Cut and the miss, 0-2 on Liu.
A little overly aggressive right now, understanding bases loaded. You're just trying to stay through the middle. You don't have to feel like you have to drive everybody in right here. Now you got to make contact.
Lined into center field, a base hit. Liu Jun scores, and it's a 3-run lead.
So X, that's twice in this game. The batter has shown bunt. We know he's not bunting there. Pull the ball back, pull the bat back, and gotten a knock, and a really big one.
Yeah, it's kind of a comfort thing for them, especially with 2 strikes when you're trying to just put something in play. Reminds them, hey, this is the point that I get to get back to when I bring my barrel through the zone, and he did a nice job with 2 strikes there.
First hit for Liu here in Williamsport. And now Wu Chin Yu. And that's pitch number 20 from Jalen Wheel. So if you want to throw him tomorrow, if you do play tomorrow, this will be his last batter.
I think he's working a little bit fast right now. He's got to calm the nerves down a little bit, get back to doing what he does well, throwing strikes.
That's high, 3-0, and Wheel showing the frustration.
And coach was just urging him, throw a strike. He thought he had a strike on the 2-0 pitch.
3-0 to Wu. Away. And now it's 5-1. And does Zino Everett make the move? I would expect him to come out and make a change. If he does, Jalen Wheel could pitch tomorrow if Curaçao does lose this game. If he doesn't, Wheel cannot pitch tomorrow, and it does look like Alexander Provacia is coming in.
Hey, you gonna the second base is gonna pitch and change.
So 2 more runs and still nobody out for Chinese Taipei in this top of the 5th. If they win, they head straight to the Final Four Saturday. We welcome you back to Williamsport and the Little League World Series. 4 more games today, starting with this one. Let's go to Sebastian.
Guys, I'm here in the Yi Ching-han cheering section. He's our next batter here for Chinese Taipei. We got Mom with us, but we also have Uncle Hank, who just got in today. Uncle Hank, where are you coming from?
I'm from Boston.
Wow, what's that? Was it a drive, flight? What'd you do? You drove?
Yes.
How long did it take you to get here?
7 hours.
Was it worth it?
Sure, yes.
What do you think of the game so far?
Great! Great! Oh, love it!
When was the last time you saw your nephew before this tournament?
Wow, 4 or 5 years ago.
And what does it feel like to see him again?
Thank God. After pandemic, and wow, and then he like grow up like giant man now. I think wow, and now it's his turn, hopefully.
And what does it feel like to watch him represent your homeland here?
Feel proud and so happy and grateful, and then thank you the whole Taiwan team here, and everyone, watch this game. This is the third game here. They did a great job. So proud of them.
Absolutely, they're impressing us all here, guys. We send it back up to you.
Shout out to Uncle Hank.
Little League World Series is all about the Uncle Hanks of the world. Drives 7 hours to see his nephew play. Priceless.
To watch your now giant man nephew. It's awesome. And a very proud mother. We spoke with her before the game. She is so excited to watch Yi Ching-han here in Williamsport. Batting now with the bases loaded in the 5th. And that's outside, ball 4. And now it's 6-1 Chinese Taipei.
X, that great plate discipline that you talked about before the game has really come forward the last 2 innings. They've drawn 6 walks. And this game has been broken open in part because Chinese Taipei does not chase out of the strike zone.
Absolutely, great point. And obviously as a hitter, you can get a little overly aggressive with bases loaded, thinking, okay, I want to break the back of the other team, put something in the gap, put something over the fence. And they've done a nice job of just standing pat, wait until they get a strike.
Now Chiozza Wei. That's next for Chinese Taipei. This team that in the first 2 games, as Uncle Hank alluded to, a perfect game and a no-hitter. That's a great stop back there by Nathan Nahr.
Yeah, I thought it was amazing, Sebastian, being able to highlight the fact that it's not just immediate family, right? There's so many supporters outside of your close-knit family that come along for the ride. And it's not just as you're a youngster, 11 and 12. No, a lot of times, and I know specifically for myself, family being there at all my games all the way to the major leagues. And you need it. There's going to be times, Tim, in this game where 162 games, you're going to have some rough patches. And so having that support system becomes that much more important for somebody to be able to lean on.
2-2. Misses away. Full count.
2-2 curveball. Bases loaded. He can throw it for a strike. Now he's got to throw another strike right now.
3-2. Just outside. It's incredible plate discipline. I mean, X, you were talking about it like Tim just said, and Tim told you the stat that Chinese Taipei in its first 2 games had walked more offensively than it had struck out. This has all the makings of a complete team.
And I think they have the understanding of the umpire's zone as well. They know if the umpire is not calling a specific pitch, they can continue taking that pitch until the umpire changes something. Yes, we may see a little bit of a tighter zone today, but it's been that way on both sides.
Another pitching change for Curaçao. We'll take the break with him. 7-1, the Chinese Taipei lead here in the 5th. The Little League Baseball World Series on ESPN is presented by T-Mobile, America's largest and fastest 5G network. Always so great to be here at Williamsport at the Little League Baseball World Series. A game that started with a couple of unbeaten teams on the international side, Chinese Taipei at Curaçao. And now Chinese Taipei has the 6-run lead and still looking for more guys in this 5th inning.
And to repeat here, Mike, they now have 20 walks. The Chinese Taipei team hitters, 20 walks and 15 strikeouts in the Little League World Series, where strikeouts happen all the time. That's as impressive a note as double no-hitters.
Absolutely. It's happened so suddenly in a couple of their games, both against Japan and now here against Curaçao. Siap Pinhong, the right fielder, takes strike 1 from Helmer, who was Curaçao's starter in game 1 here when Curaçao faced off against Australia on Thursday of last week. So if you keep him within 20 pitches, you could bring him back tomorrow as well. Your number 2 starting pitcher, Warcleto Ferreras, he'll be available tomorrow. Jadlin Wheel, we know, will be available tomorrow as well. So should Curaçao lose this game and play tomorrow, probably their 3 best pitchers, they could throw all of them.
2. Play.
Helmer with an 0-2.
Yes, he did.
And they say that Sia went around. He disagrees. It's a strikeout for the first out here in the 5th.
This is the reason you bring him in. He's got some really good stuff. He's going to attack the zone, slider away with a lot of late break. Tough to hold up, and yes, he did go. It's a great call by the home plate umpire.
I've seen 3 right-handers, and now you get a tall, lanky left-hander. It's a completely different look.
And a couple of left-on-left matchups. Now, Wu Yan-kai trying to bunt, and he offered at it after he singled and scored his first time.
A little learning lesson here, Mike, just in case. There is no such thing as an infield fly rule on a bunted ball. So if this guy bunts it with the bases loaded, 20 feet up in the air, there is no infield fly rule on a bunted ball.
Thank you for that. Have you ever seen it misinterpreted by an umpire?
No, and I'm not sure I've ever seen a ball bunted high enough where you would say that's got to be an infield fly rule.
But you never know what's going to happen at the Little League World Series. On this field in the last few days, we've had 2 attempted hidden ball tricks by Venezuela with a level of sophistication unmatched.
Really?
They had the catcher throw back to the pitcher. The pitcher bluffed a throw to second with a runner getting back to the bag. The middle infielders were coordinated, and the center and right fielder faked that the throw went all the way to the fence. It was unbelievable. To borrow a Todd Frazier word, unbelievable.
Unbelievable, big dog. Gene Michael used to be the all-time hidden ball trick guy. I grew up watching him play.
Wu strikes out. All right, Tim, here it is. This was near mastery. This is the first day they did it. Tried to get Curaçao with it.
The runner on first.
Pitcher never threw it.
He kind of got going a little bit.
I can't even begin to tell you how much I love that they have thought this through to deceive a runner. Beautiful.
Big Dog Frazier said it's the thing you would have to practice every day.
Yeah, because you got to make it look real.
This is Woo Yoon-chi, who's been hit by a pitch, walked, and scored. By the way, the run rule is 10 anytime after 4 innings, so a slam would get you to that point, though Curaçao would be able to bat. Hot shot right field for Wu. Drives in 1, and it's now 8-1 as Wu scores.
Really good idea to hold the runner at third there. He did not get a good jump. The right fielder can really throw. Do not make it out on the bases right here when you got a good thing going at the plate.
It looked like Yi Ching Han had been sent, but he did not go to the plate with Uncle Hank watching.
This is definitely the part of the lineup in which you want up with bases loaded. Try to put things a little more out of reach. You mentioned the run rule opportunity.
Play.
Chinese Taipei is going to be looking for that.
Chen Kai-shung had an RBI single in the 4th his last time to help put this Taiwan team on top.
And he's got to be thinking one thing. If I get on base here, the big fella's up next with the bases loaded.
No pitching around him then.
This one is located by Nar. And while we're talking catchers, I don't know if Chen Kai-shung has received enough credit for the way he's been able to catch Fan Chun-jun and an 82-mile-an-hour fastball and a 71, 72-mile-an-hour slider. He's been outstanding. He looks up to Yadier Molina.
This is an auto take here.
Ooh, 3-0.
They want Fan to come up here.
Mike, I totally agree about the catcher. It's impossible to hit 82 with a wipeout slider. It is really hard to catch it.
Loaded up, 2 outs, 3-0. That's down, and Fan Chun-Jun will bat here in the 5th. I'd like to say one thing about Fan Chun-Jun here, that for folks out there who want to make the joke about birth certificates, remember that you're dealing with the 12-year-olds, and there's a lot that they see out there. They see everything, and family members see everything. And why not echo the spirit of this event and the spirit of these youngsters and inject some positivity in the world when we have a remarkable talent like this man. Loaded up for Fan Chun-Jun. That's a strike.
Well said, Mike. He's 12 years old. Shouldn't be a part of any controversy like that when there is no controversy.
Oh, 1. Big cut from Fan Chun-Jun.
There haven't been many opportunities for him to really let it loose just because he's been pitched around and walked. Just want to be one of our rare opportunities to see him swing for the fences.
Oh, 2. Fouled away.
Seen a lot of kids exit this Little League World Series who are really good at fighting off the pitch, just making contact, staying in the at-bat. That was a perfect case there. That was nasty down and away, and he got a piece of it.
Helmer, ready to throw, and 0-2 to Fan. Away.
Well, to your point too, Tim, that's what Fan did in the first inning to stretch that first run. Got a pitch on the outer half and just took it to right field. Great 2-strike hitting from this Chinese Taipei team.
Hovering right over the plate.
His front foot's 3 inches from home plate. 3.
Pop foul.
I repeat, Mike, fear of the ball is real for a 12-year-old, and it doesn't exist here. Fear of the ball runs kids out of this game all the time at this age, and these kids are fearless. They stand right on the top of the plate and say, come on, throw it here.
1-2. Line foul, and he's hovering over the plate, so he's got that reach.
Well, again, X, that's what happens when you got your hands in the middle of the plate before the pitch comes.
The multi-talented Fan Chun-Jun.
I think he just moved a little closer.
Maybe 2 inches now. Helmer fires. Away, 2-2, and Fan flipping the bat to himself. Told us he's a big basketball player as well, but said he is better at baseball than he is basketball.
I certainly hope so. If he's better in basketball.
Look out. 2-2. Chopper and Helmer. Ends the inning. 6 runs in the 5th for Chinese Taipei. This team appears to be a juggernaut. It's been a lot of fun so far in the first game of the day at the Little League World Series. Jade Lidwell, Xu Xiaoxia, energy, emotion, bat flips. It has all been happening here in Williamsport as we welcome you back to ESPN's coverage of the Little League World Series presented by T-Mobile. Tim, how's your first experience been this year on the international side?
Well, I love the international side. I love Lamedy. I love every bit of this. But now I've seen Chinese Taipei because I've been told for 5 days they're the best team here. And now I've seen it. I've seen every American team, and those teams are really good. But this is the best team I've seen so far.
Yeah, Tim, I think one of the reasons why I may consider them one of the favorites just because of the depth in their pitching as well. Like, we understand Fan has been really good, but whoever else has touched this mound has done a nice job of attacking the zone and putting guys away with ease. And we know Curaçao is usually one of the better teams here they've held them to 2 runs, two hits today.
And again, those are the only 2 hits Chinese Taipei has allowed in 3 games. One of them is the wheel home run. The other is an infield single that you at least wondered what the call was going to be. And that's all the damage against Chinese Taipei pitching in these 3 ball games here in Williamsport.
Yeah, the ball's been in play more this game, but what that's taught us is how good their defense is. I can't stress enough how impressive their infield was and how every kid on this team has a plus arm.
Joshua Acosta against Shu. He misses to make it 2-2. I mean, this is shades of Chinese Taipei's 1973 team that didn't allow a single hit throughout its run here.
Last 2 pitches have slipped out of his hand a little, X.
He just asked for a new ball, Tim.
Yep, good for him.
And he goes to the rosin.
Goes to the rosin.
No, I've enjoyed watching Shu and everything he's done from a shortstop standpoint, from a pitching standpoint. At the plate, you can tell his game is extremely advanced for a 12-year-old.
Again, he is the captain of this team. He's the leader. He's flown a little bit under the radar because of Fan Chun-Jun, because of the catcher on this team, Chen Kai-sheng, because of the leadoff man, Woo Yun-chi. There's a lot of stars on this team. Down, and that's ball 4. So Joshua Acosta's on for Curacao to begin the 5th.
Wow.
And they just appealed that and said that Acosta went. So on a late appeal, it's now a strikeout and not a walk.
Get another look here. Acosta. Tough to tell from that angle. Here we get the side. I think he held up, but it was close.
Here's Sean Cerveri, and he goes first pitch swinging and floats it behind short, and Liu Jun makes the catch for out number 2.
I still keep going back to that battle from Shu and Jalen Will. Shu was pitching to him, using that fastball up in the zone. Jalen kept fouling some off. Can tell that kind of changed the momentum of the game right there in that sense. Shu was able to strike him out.
The shoe was on the other foot.
Hey, we welcome those of you now watching on ESPN2. That's where this game will continue in the 6th inning, and only there. That's right up there with your Jadlin Wheel running the wheel play.
What a moment that was.
Shavar Jacobus rolls it back to Shu. Inning over, 1, 2, 3, and we go to the 6th. For those of you watching on ESPN, our game right here continues on ESPN2 after the break. On ESPN, we will send you to Labadee Stadium for Texas against Washington, another heavyweight showdown. Couple of teams that have not lost at the Little League World Series. With Todd, Jess, and Julie Foudy, we send you up to Labadee with Ravi. If you can believe it, the college football season kicks off Saturday in the 18th annual MEAC SWAC Challenge kickoff game as South Carolina State squaring off against Jackson State at what was formerly Turner Field. Our celebration of HBCUs begins at 7:30 Eastern, 4:30 Pacific on ABC for the first time, and the ESPN app. Oh yeah, getting ready for football season with some push-ups. We just need some up-downs in there as well. X, you do any push-ups this morning?
No, I got a little bit of rest this morning.
That's like some downward dog kind of.
That's a downward big dog.
He's knocking him out, huh?
Tim,
hey, get the chest to the ground, though. Come on, young fella.
Tim, what was the quote that Senor Frazier had the other day on the big home run call? What was it that Todd said?
In his voice or mine?
Well, your choice on that.
I do not believe it. Actually, I do. Hey, you want to trade some pins? That was as bad as Todd doing me.
What did you say when you heard Todd doing you?
It was hilarious. I asked again, is that what I sound like?
Oh, it's great. Joshua Acosta is the new pitcher, preserving Helmer for tomorrow.
Speaking of pins, I gave Todd 3 new pins. He adds to his collection. He has over 7,000 pins. So I thought 400 of them were the same. No, it's 7,000 different pins.
I got some news for you. Todd was down on the field pregame giving away 4 pins. They might have been those. I'm not kidding. He gave away 4 pins to Fan Chun Jun.
Which pins did you give him? Different pins?
Yes, 4. I gave him 3 different pins. He collects them like he's 12. That's because he is 12. He's the biggest 12-year-old I've ever seen. Tell us about what he carries in his pocket.
He carries a bottle of honey and squirts it in his mouth before the broadcast starts.
How many adults do that?
Line drive to second. Nice pick by Provacia for the first down. Yeah, to the point that Tim Kirkjian, our buddy's been so impressed that he stopped Janio Gutierrez and said how impressed he was by the ability to hit a pop-up with a fungo.
You couldn't imagine, Tim. Hey there, let's talk about the pop-ups that we just did here. Find it so amusing.
Nothing in 2. Oh, there's going to be a retort for you.
He is a one-man clown car, that guy. He is so funny. Todd has breathed new life into the League World Series because he's just like one of the kids, even though he's almost 40 years old. I love it.
He's a man-child.
He is. He's the biggest 12-year-old ever. I told you.
That's comedy right there.
He's so good.
Who does the best impersonation of your voice?
Well, they're all terrible, but JP Arancibia was the first one, and so I finally asked him, I said, please tell me that you do other impersonations. Please tell me you do Jack Nicholson. He goes, no, I can only do you.
Did Dempster ever do you?
Yes.
I thought I heard Dempster do you pretty good.
Ryan Dempster, who's one of the funniest people in the world, did Harry Carey interviewing me in both of our voices. He went, hey, Tim, where'd he get all those stats from? And then he would do my terrible voice. God,
holy cow.
It was so bad. It was so funny.
Xu Xiaoxia pulls this one foul. Out of respect to you, when Todd said that, I didn't even want to try to do one of you, though I think mine is better than Todd's.
You were laughing pretty hard, though. Well, that's for sure.
Yeah. Todd's a funny guy.
It's Todd. He's my teammate. I don't care what he does. I'm looking like this, I can't take myself too seriously.
3-2. Tim, you are the best. It's really great to have you down here on the international side.
It's not too often we get to sit next to a Hall of Famer.
I know,
calling
right?
a game.
Tim Dillard imitated me once, and he crouched down when he did it, so he would be the proper height.
That's just mean. In the air toward first, and Lorenz Marti puts it away for out number 2. It's been a lot of laughs, gentlemen.
Tim, were you a seeds guy? Bubble gum? What do you like?
I'm not seeds. I'm not bubble gum. In fact, I can chew gum for about 30 seconds, and that's enough.
That's about it.
Yeah, and then my mouth, my jaw gets tired.
Really?
You know, Tito Francona goes through 80 pieces of gum in a night.
He's got to have an iron jaw, right?
He does, and mine, I have a glass jaw, obviously, because I can't chew gum for very long.
Liu Jun's the batter. X, were you a seeds guy?
I like seeds a lot, and I like the different flavors too. I don't even like original. I like ranch. I like barbecue. I like dill pickle.
Ooh.
David's came out a long time ago with the nacho cheese, and that one about changed my life.
Really?
It was like you had nachos just for a sunflower seed.
So you like the exotic seeds?
I do. I like the different flavors.
I like original. Not that anyone asked. 2-1. Bouncing ball left side to Shamar Jacobus. Ends the inning. 1-2-3 in the sixth. 7-8-9 coming up for Curaçao. Fanchan Jun not pitching today, but eligible to pitch tomorrow. So when Chinese Taipei would finish this off, he would then next be available to go when they play on Saturday for an international championship. And he throws flames, as he said.
Just absolute heat. Not afraid of anything. He's coming at you. He's showing it to you. And the slider's nasty too. It's about 72 miles an hour itself.
Similar build to Spencer Strider, who throws exceptionally hard, really big legs.
Yeah, he is well built and ready to go. If Chinese Taipei wins this and finishes it off, they play Saturday afternoon on ABC. In the final 4 teams. Deshaun Winklar takes strike 1. I mean, you saw the numbers there. That Fanchan Jun has thrown 86 pitches, and batters have made contact 15 times. 10 of those are foul balls. They put a ball in play 5 times against him. And he's thrown, meanwhile, 12 pitches at 80+ miles an hour.
I mean, look, I just told you how good these kids are at hanging in there, but at some point they are overmatched completely against 82 with a slider at 72. That's a wipeout slider. If he had only that, he would be hard to hit, but he's got 2 pitches.
Yeah, you got to believe most of these kids have never even seen 82 miles an hour. So we're talking about trying to make an adjustment on doing so. That's got to be tough itself.
And they've never seen a slider at 72, that's for sure. It's like the Czech Republic came here. They'd never seen velocity over 53. Now they're seeing 75. They've never seen a curveball because you're not allowed to throw one there. It's an awful lot to ask of a hitter.
It's been incredible to watch what Fanchan Jun has done. Remember, he also threw an immaculate inning last Thursday against Canada. After the game, he and his teammates were informed of that. They didn't know what it was. It's only been done twice in Major League Baseball this year. And when they learned that fact, they were blown away and so impressed that he had done something that only 2 times this year has happened in Major League Baseball.
And again, to find a 12-year-old who can throw 9 straight strikes, that's not easy to do.
Yeah, 9 pitches, 9 strikes, 3 strikeouts, an immaculate inning. And he did it in the 3rd inning that he pitched here. They threw a perfect game in that outing, a combined perfect game because they took him out. And afterward, they only thought it was a no-hitter. The team didn't realize that it had been a perfect game. Strike 3 called. And there's one away in the 6th. All right, let's fawn over fawn. I mean, he's been this good. He's basically been averaging what is at the major league level 101 miles an hour with his fastball here.
Averaging 101, Tim.
It's one thing to be a 1-inning reliever that can average that kind of velocity. To be a starting pitcher that can do that, it's even more impressive.
We got a pitching change here in Williamsport. And we'll talk more about Fanchan Jun when we come back. Hello from Williamsport and the Little League World Series, where the youngsters are out. There's a great crowd on hand for this one. Chinese Taipei at Curaçao, with the winner advancing to the international championship game on Saturday afternoon. Yi Ching-han takes over on the mound here in the bottom of the 6th with 1 out.
So this is Uncle Hank's nephew.
It is.
So he drove 7 hours from Boston and gets to watch his nephew pitch.
And hadn't seen him in what he told Sebastian was 4 or 5 years. So you know the phone is out to document the moment. This is what it's all about. With Yi Ching-han's mother sitting right beside Uncle Hank. Hellemire takes pretty good fastball for ball 1.
He also throws a curveball, so maybe he'll throw an Uncle Charlie for Uncle Hank.
Yi Ching Han, the 4th of 5 siblings, touches 70 miles an hour.
Again, X, this is your point. The pitching depth, every guy they throw out there not only throws hard, he knows what he's doing.
Presumably their 5th best pitcher is dotting 70 on the edge.
At 165 pounds.
Slow roller in front of home plate, and Chen for out number 2. These guys are pretty good.
So impressive, X, how he knows exactly what he has to do there. The only play is to bury on that ball. And he did it and got an easy out at first. That's a quick little catcher going out there to get that ball.
So Chinese Taipei 1 out away from advancing to the international title game on Saturday. And meanwhile, Curaçao will have to come back tomorrow and play. At 3 o'clock Eastern time, you can watch it over on ESPN against whoever wins later today between Japan and Mexico.
The depth in the staff is, as Tim said, is really all I've needed to see. You got Yi coming in here throwing 72, dotting like you mentioned.
Oh, there's
quick
Uncle
pitching,
Charlie,
throwing the slider.
Kidding me? I watched him in infield throw from first base, and I went, wow, he's the best throwing first baseman we have in the Little League World Series, and now he's...
And they didn't even start him at first. He's not...
He's an extra hitter.
Yeah. These guys are scary. Nathan Nahr staring down a 1-2 from Yi Ching Han.
It's 2-2.
You have fans seeking you out now.
Right. Todd and I just have a little fun with a 2-2 count. And I had 2 fans in the stands just come up to me and go, Tim, it's 2-2.
The 2-2 is away at 72 miles an hour. I mean, you got a guy throwing gas, 5th in your rotation.
The pins.
Yeah, they got some pins over there.
Play.
3-2 inside, and it walks Nahr. We've been talking about this Chinese Taipei pitching staff and how they had the perfect game and the no-hitter. Well, when they threw the perfect game in the dugout before the 5th inning, team translator Dr. Philip Chang told the players that they were throwing a no-hitter. The coaches found that out after the fact, and they were not pleased with Dr. Phil. And so Dr. Phil told us that he was nervous for the last 2 innings of that game, that he was going to be the jinx. They still got the perfect game in spite of old Phil.
Boy, if that had been broken up, he might have had to go see Dr. Phil.
Yeah, that would have been a prescription for something real bad.
Our thanks to Dr. Philip Chang, by the way. He was a former Olympic swimmer for Chinese Taipei. He's got an acupuncture license. There he is in the back of the dugout. He is a brilliant mind and a real kind man. Yi Ching Han's got a strikeout to end it, and Chinese Taipei celebrates. They are headed to the International Championship Saturday.
Sai set the tone from a mound perspective, did a really nice job, and in that 5th inning, they put up the runs.
So impressed with Chinese Taipei, my first look. Wow.
More Little League World Series right now on ESPN. For Tim, X, and Sevi and our entire crew, Mike Monaco saying so long.